Hey everyone, welcome back to How to Be a Poser. Today we're going for stark raving awesome, and to do that we'll be using the Thor Sixth Scale Figure from Avengers Infinity War by Hot Toys. Let's get started. Alright, here's Thor from Avengers Infinity War in full-on Pirate Angel mode. It comes with a variety of accessories including Stormbreaker and these lightning effects that you can switch out with his armor. Can't wait to see what I can do with all this cool stuff, so let's get rolling. Alright, so here's Thor, our sexy Pirate Angel man. I think for this first pose I'm going to just go ahead and just do one that I've liked to do with one of my other Thor figures at home, and that's just have him catching the axe, which is really, when you think about it, the first time that we see Thor with Stormbreaker in the film. There's Thor's axe-holding hand. Pop that onto the peg. I want this hand, yeah. You know, I just had this wrist peg pop out when I pulled the other hand off, and it actually wound up being a lot easier to plug the wrist peg into the hand that way than it was when the peg stayed in the wrist. So maybe make it a point to just go ahead and pull the peg out. I think that you have more control over it. You're less likely to do something that might result in an unfortunate accident. All right, a test for the arm flexibility. Looks like 90 degrees is about the most that you can hope for on a good day. I'm gonna have this arm out. Let's go ahead and turn this head, get him ready, because his body's gonna be turned this way. That's some pretty decent waist articulation. When Thor's catching his hammer and then axe in this film, he's got a very strong posture. His feet are slightly more than shoulder width apart. He's leaned back a little bit onto his back leg. It's like he catches the axe when it's right here, and the momentum of the axe carries his arm back a little bit this way. That's going to be exciting because that's going to stand on its own. That's a good rough pose. Let's go ahead and bring the axe in. Okay, lesson learned here. Probably should have put the axe in his hand before putting the axe onto the body. So let's do that. Let's put the axe in the hand. Be really careful when you're doing that, because you don't want to scratch the paint on the hands. Right. So let's turn that arm in just a little bit. There we go. Bring it up. Okay, so his head, for my needs, his head's not quite turned as much as I want it to be. So let's have him look this way just a little bit more. It's going to be tough because that armor's right there. Okay, I just figured out a great way to cheat this armor on the side here, and that's to have him kind of leaning into the camera a little bit, and that way you can lift his chin up, and it just barely clears the armor. So yeah, again, just twisting this body just a little bit more just to try to get that dynamic angle in there. And you can see that I'm just kind of gradually bringing his body more and more forward just to suit my just to get my desired pose. I've got him looking straight ahead now. I think that I've got this axe too high. Just thinking about it from the perspective of physics, if this axe, as much as it weighed at the top, would have come in that high in his hand, then it seems to me that it would just be a little bit top heavy. So I've lowered the axe a little bit in his hand just to compensate for it there. I'm just about done with the pose right now, but something I just noticed is that I didn't quite have the axe in a proper position. When you're any sort of a weapon with an edge, you want the edge of the weapon to be basically parallel with that second knuckle right here. So I'm just going to rotate that axe until that blade is roughly in that position, and that is a perfect return catch, and that's what that ought to look like. Done. Thor's journey throughout the MCU films has been this roller coaster ride of triumph and tragedy. Having said that, the moment when he arrives on Earth during the Battle of Wakanda, yelling, "Bring me Thanos!" This figure readily gives you the opportunity to tap into that moment and any other moment throughout the course of this film that you see fit.